This one's going to be a remake of a much older project. Because, I mean, I've made a treasure chest before. It looks like that. So let's move that over so I can actually see what I'm showing people. But this treasure chest is one I made like years ago. Wow, the color on that display is awful. You can actually see it has some color to it now. Okay, it's good enough. It is really dark brown, but I made this about 3 years ago now. And I just needed a quick prop for a costume, and I was just like, well, I mean, the character's a thief, and treasure chest would be pretty useful. So this is entirely made out of foam core, apart from that bit, which is just plain cardboard and proper hinges, because if you've ever tried to make hinges, they're annoying. So this time I'm still going to just be using foam core, but I'm just going to measure and reproduce this because I'm making it with a slightly different style this time. Now I have to remember what I did with my ruler, because that'll do. It's a measuring stick. I really need to arrange the light so it's not vertically down, but I'll deal with that at some point. That's what all the shine's about, because, you know, lighting. And this is really high gloss. So basically just doing the measurements. This is so that one is 25 centimeters. Wow, did I really make it like that? Okay. So it's 25. It's wide because this thing is wider than it is long, but by 12. The sides are, I'm going to do, I think if I do both by the long measurements, it just involves adding 5 mil to this measurement at the end. So width is 13.5. And the height of genuinely you can, that is 11.75. Nuts to that, that's just going to become 12. I don't mind if it's 0.5 centimeters higher. The front is rather predictably going to be 25 by 12. I'm going with 25 by 12. Turns out the front's exactly the same size as the bottom. And at the top, I mean, they're going to be 25 centimeters long. Sorry, 25 by I make these. It's probably about 3 centimeters exactly. I have 3. And this one was so nearly right. It's basically like missed. You can see here that this bit's misaligned. That's because I messed it up doing the lengths. I obviously went down by what, like a centimeter for this last one. I actually think I know what I did, but yeah. So I think what I did, I stuck that on wonky and then just went, nah, screw it, I don't care. Because you can see here where it's overlapping, where you can see clear evidence of me going, I don't care, and carrying on. So I'm going to need 3 25 by 12s. Is this going to be better for... So now I forgot to take numbers, so times 1, times 2, times 2. Let's draw a line there, and these boards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm going to need 2 domed pieces like that to go around, but I'll just... Oh no, it's just a circle of the diameter of that. It's not even difficult. I'm just being lazy. So I think I start off with the big piece. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll start off with the big piece because that's easier. Now this has been stored for a long time. It's no longer straight. It was once, but not now. But it's fine. The amount of curve in this, it'll do. I say that far too often, but so we need 25 long, which takes me out to here. Then another 25. And another 25. Those marks are not even visible in a move that surprises no one. So we're going to need one at 12, which is here, 24, which is there, and 36, which is here. (24), 12, and 36. Which means that this one is perfectly the right length. Now you can see them. Now I'm not going to be doing the top boards and the dome until I know exactly how big it, sorry, the semicircle, until I know exactly how big they need to be. Now I'm using this, which is massive overkill, but okay, start off with a cut. Now yes, I am cutting towards myself, and yes, I am moving out of the way when I do it. Whoops, that did not cut straight. That's fine. When holding things you're cutting, be very careful not to cut your hands. as you can see, it is warped, but it's nowhere near as bad as some of the things I've done in the past. Wow, that's blunt. Okay, that was awful. We know which one's going on the inside now. Okay, we know which one's going in the bin. Oh, wow. Okay, that knife has been abused. Hate that thing. Do I have a single sharp knife in here? No. Okay, so that one went through okay. Now we've got one for the trash, because... I'd say that that is absolutely ruined. Let's put that somewhere safe. I can smell the glue gun heating up. That's good. So now we need to get another 25. By 12. Let's just mark them up. See, this is the problem of doing it like this. So if I cut it like that, it'll be an absolute pigsty and not worth looking at. So I've got to come over here and use a bit from a straight edge, because that one didn't cut straight, which I forgot about. But because that one initially cut wonky, which is the reason I had to do the whole thing again in the first place, so that's right, onto the 12. Let's hope it cuts properly this time, and this time. That's pretty good. Let's pop that down. There you go. That's the third one. Now, I may have dramatically thrown this one on the floor, but it's going to get reused. It's the right length, and I can get 3 useful top boards out of it. So there are, we now have 3 of them. Now, next up, we need... Why 13.5? Ask me if you have answers. I'd love to know. just 13.5, so hopefully that's good enough. Yeah, basically I need a straight edge to do that properly. But so 13.5. Why would it be 13.5? It's adding half a side. It should be 12. It should be 13. I'm sorry, you're at 0.5 a side. It's not 13.5. Yeah, 13 exactly. See, I was right to question past me. Past me knows nothing. It's 13 by 12, so 13 and 26. Let's see if we can get this into shot. I'll move across, well, I'll move down, sorry. 13 to 26. Don't worry if you mess up a bit, you can just scribble it out. What's that one, like 27 or something? Oh. That's the wrong one, that's the correct one. Whoops. That's 12. And this one here is 12. So we do this line first. Now cut them out. That tearing sound is not a good noise. No. Well, I messed that up. It's okay, one side of it looks good, we'll be okay. Just hide the bad bits on the inside, no one will mind. So we've got 2 of them. And be careful while swapping knife blades. It's a knife. It's sharp. Ah! That wasn't the knife, that was the hot glue gun. Three, 6, 9. Start your pretty straight, that one. Pretty good. Hey look, a sharp knife actually works. Okay, that bit we can throw. So this was 12 high, 13 thing, right? Yeah, 12 by 13, so. This is 25 long, yes. So, yes, no, which, that's. I was trying to remember the way that yeah, sorry about that. It's 25. And conveniently the right length. So 3, 6, 9, 12. That's all I need. 12, 9, 6, 3. Twelve, 9, 6, 3. Now, usually when you're doing this, you have to account for the losses when you're cutting. So like the thickness of your blade, but with this, the tolerances aren't actually that fine. And of course, there is no actual loss for the blade in this case. Okay. As per usual, be careful while cutting with a knife. Ooh. Don't do what I just did. That's better. I'm just out of practice with these knives, that's all. I'm just out of practice cutting properly, so. But they're good enough for what I need. Whoops. There you go. No one will see that. It's fine. Let's just chuck them up there. Now we just need start construction of the box, so I'm going to say this will be the bottom because it's got the slightly dented edge. But literally just get the edges and stick. I put the glue on the wrong one. So that is a mess up. That'll be fine. So I'm just testing it all fits together properly, which it does. Well, unfortunately I've already messed it up a little bit because that's now the front or back. I mean, it basically makes no difference, so it's fine. I'm covering over the edges anyway, so... And if you're ever wondering why there's so much glue on this desk, this is it. Like, literally, this is it. So flip that over, put it on the bottom. I'm trying to do this bit relatively quickly, down to the fact that, well, if it dries in the wrong position, I'm sort of in trouble. Now I'm okay with some little mistakes on the bottom of this one. But you can see here that this side is sticking out. That I don't care about because there's going to be detailing around those edges to cover it over. Just run a quick bead like this. Yep, check it's the right one before you try. Ignore the fact I've got the pen on the outside this time. Now we now have the starts of the bottom of the box. Really, I never said this build was hard. And it should actually be 13 this time. Which it is. Which means we now need a 12 centimetre circle. Do I have anything that's a 12 centimetre circle? It's much easier to do it if I'm drawing out something instead of making it up. How big's this? Ooh, the lid of my cable tie thing is 12, is it? Yep, the lid from my bag of cable ties. Sorry, tube of cable ties. I did not expect it to be that easy. I was expecting far more of a fight. If it wants to be cooperative. 12, so we mark out the 6. Then we mark out the 6 again there. In this case, I'm just making marks from the bottom at 6 centimeters high because the edge of this is equal to the bottom. So that way we know where the center is, so when I come to cut it later, I don't have to guess. Honestly, the amount of people are surprised how useful those things are setting up a studio. Cable ties are great. Reusable cable ties are the best. So we just cut out the circle. Now I'm going to freehand it and make a complete butt of myself, but where did I start? There. Oh wow, I went straight through into the table, didn't I? Whoops. Oh well. You're not being into the table. This is why this table exists. So we got that one. Yep. And we now have two semicircles, which theoretically should be the same size. They're not, but they're close. So I think if I aim this bit down, it is the least likely to ever be seen. Let's check that's right, which it isn't. See, what I've done wrong here, to get that to be the wrong length. Let's just see if this is salvageable. It is not. See, each of these is 1 centimetre too short, because these on the end make it 26, not 25. Okay, now I can dramatically throw them over my shoulder and not care. Do we have enough on this for it, or do I have to go get a fresh piece? That'll do. So I'll admit I counted that wrong. 26. Top 26. No, that's that corrected. And because there's 7 of them, 3, 6, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 won't fit. Because 18 is just beyond the end of the circle up here, so. Oh well. 15, 12, 9, 6, 3. Can't believe I messed that up. All things. Okay, but it's okay if you make mistakes because, well, you learn. And I'll probably make that mistake again. But we can keep those in there. Safekeeping. But it's a treasure chest after all. Okay, it's close enough. Okay, there you go. Five out of 7. It's 20, we need another 2. Just mark that out to 26. And there. Six, 3, 0. 6, 0, 3, and 3, 0. Just all across like that. And across like that. And we're okay. Okay, and we chuck one in like that. There. I think I might make another one, slightly smaller than this one. You know, I don't particularly want to actually waste all those that I chucked on the floor because, again, being dramatic for the sake of being dramatic is fine, but that much waste is being a jerk. So, these here literally just go on top. And then you stick them around the semicircles. So just stick them on like that. And there you go. Stuff out there for support. Now I'm just sticking this on with a thin bead of hot glue, and that's it. Just put that pen away. Now you may ask why I'm only sticking one end at a time. And that'd be a good question. I should probably stick both, but just put it there for support. There you go. Oh, stop making that noise. Someone's gonna dislike. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't do that. Stay there. Let's just do another one. Now, as happened on the last one, the last board is cut short. I mean, that's fine. I just have to do it properly this time. So it's like that. You've got a little bit extra, but I think this time that's going to be the back. You know, instead of the previous attempt where it was the front and it was an absolute disaster. So now we've got that stuck, which is all good. So now we're just going to do the other side. Carefully go through them all one at a time, you know. Ow, ah, ah, ah. My glue gun is heating up, apparently. Burns me when I'm being slow. Okay, be careful with these things. They still get hot. They still burn. No matter how long you've had it, no matter how much you think it's your friend, it will still hurt you. Be careful. And that last bit. Okay, so we now have a lid, but this lid won't fit. So let's let it dry, then complain. So it's not actually dry yet, but as you can see, the lid doesn't fit because we've got that extra on the back, and because I pulled a bit apart. So what I'm going to do this time we're going to get a straight cut instead of the wonky ass one I had last time. Go through here, just line that up with both the connecting points. So that way it's actually visible for all the good it does. So now we have a line going through that we know to cut on. Okay, now we have a line we know we can cut on. If I'm going to see if I can use the edge of this as no, I can't. Okay, that was a much worse mistake than anyone would think it was. Because I put weight on the front here, and that snap you heard was it losing integrity, so there's now a fold that's just visible there, and that's permanent. Okay, fortunately, so I've got to restick this bit because it's come loose. Okay, so basically the knife went off a bit and it shouldn't have. So that's now restuck. So that's now a reasonable fit. So at this point we have to introduce the hinges. These are these are just cheap ones I got online. The previous ones I just got from a hardware shop. But due to current conditions, the hardware shops are far more hard to access. So it's just a pair of brass hinges. These ones lay flat, don't they? Like my previous ones. No, those cutouts were completely unnecessary last time. Whoops. So basically we just stick them on like that. So like that at the top. Unfortunately there is just enough space for them. So so we've got 26 centimeters, which means a center of 13. Which goes there. Half of 13 is 6.5. Which is there. And 6.5 back from there is 19.5. Now, do I want to put them at the quarter points? This is the advantage of being able to lay it out beforehand. Put them both the same way so I can see the center points. So I think that's a bit too close. So if we put the quarter points there. That looks sort of traditional treasure chesting. Wow, that one's a bit stiff. Well, that one's going to break in no time. It's fine. This one though, the hinge is just fine, but I think that one will tear the foam, tear the material apart. Okay, that's not my job, it's not what I'm here for. So from that position, so I've just loosened up the glue off there. Of course, I've made a bit of a mess back here, but that's because I wasn't thinking it through entirely. My bad. Yeah, in each of the screws I go through and just make sure that I fill the indent on the top side, so it's not just relying on the flat metal, it's been riveted through. I don't like that. That's, sorry, no, it's just too tough, but fortunately I bring the spares. There you are. That one's fine. This one's okay though. Oh, so we're in fine, aren't we? Yeah. There you are, perfectly stable. So we just bring this one over, and I'd make that same mistake again. This time I'm going to attempt to do it from this direction. Try to tighten it up around the edges so it doesn't look absolutely horrific this time. It is possible to correct that, but I would hate to do it any way that I know of on this surface, because they all involve heating and this stuff melts really easy. But yep, we now have curve hinges on the back. They fold over forward to 90 degrees, which is pretty much what we need. It'll be fine. On the back of this, I just looked at that and it's far too soft. I don't like it. So when you're doing reinforcing on the inside, I'm never as tough as I am with the bits you can see. But I'm going to add this little layer on the back. Now, I've put that there because this board was really bendy, and I think it just snapped way too quickly. So now we've got a bit of reinforcement on the back, just enough to stop it from just snapping. Damn, I'm using the word just a lot. Now we've got that there. So like that. Now if you're doing it properly, don't make this much of a mess of the hinges. Please. But when you're doing it just for fun, it's not really a problem. Yeah, that'll open just fine. My other one, I've got a little bit more gap. And just wiggle that a little bit, just make sure it lines up. And you have the basic frame for treasure chest at this point. Just fine. You can now just swing it open, get to the treasure. Okay. And close this now. Ish. Where are we impacting? Oh, it's just a little bit of contact on this side. Okay. A little bit of modification, but it closes. I mean, it's never going to be perfect, but if you spend a bit more time than I do, probably learn from my mistakes as well, you'll do much better. So now, this is just a basic box. It's pretty good, but I mean, to be a treasure chest, you've got to have the banding around the edges. So what I'm going to do is trace this shape onto this. And this is just thin craft cardboard. And that's it, basically. It's just thin cardboard used for crafting. Nothing hugely special. But what I'm going to do is trace an outline. I think I'm going to measure. So that's 1.5. Is that too much? More appropriate. Actually, no, 1.5. Remember the limitations of the material when you're designing. So we draw it along. What we've got to remember is all the bits that you've drawn, you're going to need to hide if you've just drawn as badly as this. And draw a little bit of detail in the corner like that. Okay, now we just cut that out, have a look, see what it looks like on the board. I suspect this is going to be a bit thicker than I thought it was going to be. But that'll be okay. Actually, it might not be that bad. So like that. And it goes on like that. That's not that bad actually. Just fix up a little bit. That looks about right. So we just make 3 of them. Okay, that's much better. Now this, we're going to have one like this on the bottom as well. I think this would have gone better if I'd have said it was a loot box. I mean, I have been opening it for like the last 20 minutes since the lid got put on. I hear those things were popular at one point. Even in shock. Yeah, I am. Wow. Draw the line. Okay. Also, if you haven't seen this cardboard before, this is what the underlying foam, actually the underlayer of my gauntlets is made of. It's actually this exact card. Okay, that's good enough. That's free. So let's do some chopping. Get off the scissors so it doesn't fold up too much. Theoretically, only 2 of these will fit. The bottom one won't. Because unfortunately I'm a bit of an idiot, so the bottom one like this will be slightly too small, only in the 2 directions then. I mean, that's fine, we know which one's going on the bottom anyway. The one I did the worst job of. So obviously this one's up first because it's the best one I did, also the first. So now I've got to do this quickly and carefully. Those 2 words always have gone together and always will. So there you go, that's side 1. So in this case, I'm only going to do the bottom bits because I've got to do cutouts for the hinges, and so again. So that's fine. Go to the edge of this one. There you go, and cut that there, and that's fine. Do that along there and stick. Squeeze it on, that'll be fine. Okay, so we've now got a front and back. Naturally there's a little bit of overspill, but it's nothing a pair of scissors can't deal with. The question is, do I even bother with the bottom? Stupid question. Yes, always bother with the bottom. So this time I did mess that up, and I mean, I'm not so dull I can't correct it, right? I make these mistakes, so someone's got to correct them. So what I'm going to do is cut out a 1 centimetre gap there and there, which I've done. Then carry on as normal. Just make sure to be careful doing this. And when squeezing them together, just remember to butt them all up. Like such. Now I have these little sections at the bottom to deal with, so and a little bit over here. I mean, it's not perfect, but also that's the bottom, so no one should ever see it. If someone's seeing it, something has gone wrong. So now, gotta do the same again here. so now we have this, and we've decided on 1.5, so just mark in the 1.5. Just remember 1 point's a measurement, 2 points is a line. It's not always true, but you can't draw a straight line off 1 point. Really 1.5, close enough. Again, same detailing as before. So if I had bothered to think this through, yeah, see if I'd planned this, I would have done a little template for the corners, not sort of winged it the way I am. Oh, nope, back on the line. Low flying plane. So we've got one. Like that. Let's stick that on. There you go. Now I just have to do one more thing, and we're ready to go on to the other side. So again, just mark out the right distances, and I mean, most of this is just repetition once you've got one bit of it done. But when you're making stuff by hand, that's how a lot of it is. Also, I don't know where I got this pen from, but it's awful. It's just making a mess everywhere. And again, got the same pattern again. Generally, that's the style of trash chest I'm copying. It's the more fantasy style than actual real ones. Because real ones, they've just banded to the edge. You know, unless it's for someone like royalty, then you would have gone more out of your way to make it look a little bit more fancy. But it's the same with barrels, you just put bands around it. Now I don't want to annoy the Koopas out there, so I'm not going to, but barrel making is difficult, and so is making proper trash chests. But we've confirmed that fits. If you wanted to do one worse than this and be as wasteful as possible, all of this would be made out of one, like all this siding stuff that I'm doing now, would be made out of one sheet. And you meet them all at the corners like there, because that's how you do it properly. But now, just got half a trash chest. Hopefully this will be the last, yeah, this will be the last fresh sheet I need. So now we've got the most challenging bit, because I've got to cover over here. As you can see, I've run too high by there and there. So again, it's good enough. I had to take that little bit off the back, because if you leave too much material back there, it, how do I explain that it's awful? Don't do it. Okay, so we start off by here. Really? It's the... Well, that makes my measurements real easy. What is it, 26 centimeters exactly? Yes, it is. Come on, one more 26. very fortunately, that's the exact size of this sheet of paper or card. But I mean, if you can't get craft cards like this, it's just like cereal box. There's nothing really fancy going on here. The foam core that I'm using, you can just replace with cardboard. So this is basically an old box's job. Part 1, like foam core as a material. It's really nice to work with. It's just if you spray paint it, it'll melt all of the foam out, which you really don't want. Okay, who else we got? There and here. Let's have a drink. It's been an hour and a half. Okay, so basically we've got like this type of semicircle. And begin. And again, one last one. Okay. Pierce a hole for the center to start with. It doesn't have to be exactly for the center, but I mean, it works, so I'm okay with it. There you go. It's not bad. So it goes around like that. Due to the size of this one, I'm doing it half at a time. what I've done here is forget something very important. Just those back hinges exist. Tiny little dab. It'll be fine. Okay, so that back bit's now been messed up because I did completely screw that up. So we've now got all the sides covered. We now just need a little bit around here on the inside. And we'll be okay. It's okay if there's a little bit of gaps around there. It doesn't really matter that much. But this time what I'm drawing on is a circle, so it's going to be a bit harder than the previous versions. And of course make sure your corners are stuck down. So again, this one, I'm not going for the fancy stuff because there are no 90-degree corners this time. Really, 1.5 around there as well. Okay, and generally like that. Again, just put a hole through it and not yourself, because again, bad idea. Just stick that on. Both sides should be identical, so it doesn't matter that much. But best to be safe than sorry, you know. Okay, and last bit. I keep saying that and then finding one more bit, but place. And just again measure 1.5 around. 15 millimeters, 1.5 centimeters. Now hopefully this inside circle being properly rounded will actually make the whole thing look like it's rounded. Okay, and flip that up a little bit. And stick. Now, you could just paint all of this detail on, but having an actual physical relief there just looks better. Okay, so I'm going to make a keyhole. Like such. Now I have to cut that out and make it look proper. Hopefully that little poke will be enough. Okay, these are way too big for this. Even those are too big for this. Oh, don't tell me I've lost my tiny little scissors. Okay, apparently my tiny little scissors are just missing. Oh, there they are. Got them. So, tiny little scissors. Okay, so that's a hideous keyhole, but this was a bad idea. Do I want to cover over this bit on the inside and make it look better? Not hugely, but I have a little bit of time left before I usually finish, so I may as well make it a full 2 hours, right? So I'm just pre-curving it a bit, just so, you know, it'll fit in better. Okay, to make sure it fitted first. Okay, so it now fits in. I've just worked out where I'm going to regret on this one, but last time I did the interior bit here with foam. I think it works better with cards, to be fair. I mean, this is the type of thing that you'll ever see, so it's a bit silly and pointless, but, you know, it works, and it looks better this way. But that's the last glue I'm going to need. So I'm going to turn that off. There you go. Just check out the junk. It's starting to come off. Yeah. I know why it's starting to come apart. This was the glue at the start where I made the mistake. Okay, now it will close properly. And you're starting to come off here. So squeeze those two on. So yeah, I made a mistake there, that's my bad. That's because when I put the glue on at the start, it was just slightly too tight. As you can see, it still seals okay. That glue now should be holding on alright, as you'd expect. And, well, there is a treasure chest. 2 hours, it's a nice easy build. And if you compare it to the Mark 1, I mean, Mark 1's been painted, but I mean, it looks much nicer. Yep, the Mark 1 will still be the one on display because it's been used. Okay. So yeah. You know, I hope you all like the project. It's just a little build, a bit of fun. It's waste cardboard. Hate waste, but this kind of thing always leads to it. And plus, that's all going into recycling anyway. So, right, I'm going to finish up there because apart from painting, this is done. And yeah, okay, bye.